Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 3 of the T56 Magnum installation on my 1971 Chevelle. Today I'm working on the hydraulic clutch conversion, and as you can see I have an American Powertrain Hydramax clutch kit, so let's open it up and see what we got. Instructions, and obviously I've opened up the box, but we can see what we have. The reservoir that can mount onto the firewall. We have some adapters and fittings. This is the swivel end that goes onto the clutch pedal. The all-thread rod that you cut down to length so it goes between the master cylinder and your pedal. Some hoses, some other fittings, etc. Last but not least, we have the master cylinder. And the whole reason why I went with the American Powertrain kit is because this adjustable bracket that can be mounted on the firewall and to any angle that needs to be. Also, I should note that I have custom ordered a 13/16 master cylinder. The stock one is 3/4 and I just wanted a shorter pedal, so 13/16 is the way I went. Obviously you don't see a release bearing in here. That's because I have went with a Tilton one, and they actually not require but recommend a 13/16 to 7/8 master cylinder. So this is the other half of the bracket, and the idea is these go together like so, and they just pinch the firewall and away you go. It doesn't really work on at least my Chevelle, perhaps all A bodies, but this is the original plate mount that goes in for the original clutch rod on a mechanical linkage system on at least my car. And as you can see, triangle with a circle in there, and this it doesn't work. It's close but not quite. So I need to make my own bracket, and my idea is just, I went onto some cardboard, mini wheats, yay. I will cut this out, some holes here, so I can then mount my plate, onto the bracket that comes with the American Powertrain. Unfortunately, because the Chevelle, it's not a flush firewall, and I can't get in there to cut it to be flush, since I don't want to remove my brake system, I need a spacer. So I got a 0.7 inch thick piece of aluminum that I'm going to have to put some holes in and whatever, and the idea is I can mount it like that. This can then go to that, and then we should be good. So I'm going to start transferring this onto metal, and we'll see if this actually works. So stay tuned. So I mounted the bracket onto the firewall so I can test where the rod is going to go through to the master cylinder, and I ran into a quick problem. This attachment right here, which attaches to the clutch pedal, it hits right like so. So rather than doing some bending of metal or grinding or whatever, I think I'm just going to get a new bolt. Also, you can see I used a laser level so I can try to mount the Hydramax bracket as square as possible, and I'm using, so you can see that line right there as my reference point. So yeah, we'll transfer this onto aluminum once we have it all dialed in, and be one step closer to finalizing our bracket. So I just wanted to show you some of the parts I had to make. You guys saw the template I made out of cardboard, which I then transferred to aluminum. This mounts on the cab side of the firewall, which then I have this spacer I made out of 2.5 inch solid aluminum, cut out with a hole saw. It's 0.7 of an inch thick, and then this will sandwich between this plate and the master cylinder, and that allows it to clear the funny shape of the Chevelle firewall. This is actually my first try at it. I didn't like how it turned out because this is not perfectly centered, so I bought a drill press and got it to be a little more straight and accurate. So some of the things at least I needed to make to work with my setup. So with the master cylinder installed, we can now measure for the rod length. Now the all-thread rod and the master cylinder rod are attached by that adjustment nut, and there's no gap in between there. And so what I can do is push the pedal against the pedal stop. I will then measure about a 3/8 of an inch or so too short here, and that will leave me enough room so I can use the adjustment nut to get the correct length. So we'll mark it, we'll cut it, and we'll install it. So now that I have the master cylinder set to the correct angle, I have tightened down the screws on both sides. I used a little bit of blue Loctite just to keep it from ever backing out and having the angle changed. I can now put on the 90-degree fitting, so it's 1/8 NPT here. That goes to a -3AN fitting downwards to the hose. I can also then install this little cap, which will then go to the hose, which feeds up to the reservoir. The instructions say to put a little WD-40 on the O-ring just to keep it lubricated before putting on the caps. And so we'll do that and then mount it in the car. There we go, and it looks like you can turn that a little bit. Now I'm going to probably keep it in a rather straight or slightly turned angle like that, because obviously this will be mounted down like this, and our hose is going to go up towards the firewall. So let's throw it in the car. So that's the bracket and master cylinder installed. I've used 1 1/4 inch grade 8 bolts. You can see the rod that goes up to the swivel joint right there. As you can see, I had to put my own bolt in and a stack of washers. It did not come out as straight as I would have liked, but yeah, it's not the worst case in the world. I'm sure it'll be fine, but I may try to make some adjustments just to get a little straighter. We'll see. One down thing is American Powertrain did not send the stainless steel -3 line that goes from the master cylinder to the release bearing. They are sending me one up right now, which is really good, but it'll be about a week of downtime. Then I get to work on flywheel, which is installed, clutch, bell housing, etc. So excited to get to that. And yeah, if you like the video, hit like, subscribe if you can, and as usual, thanks for watching.